women are an integral part, and they have to be heard, they have to be respected, they have to feel safe. The way they feel when they're traveling for work, the way they feel when they're at the workplace, are they feeling safe? So got to have your ear to the ground. Without having your ear to the ground, you don't know what your employee. You may think that, this is a company. So in a company, employees want A, B, C. No, sorry. In your company, your employees might want a G or an H or an I, and they have to feel valued at the workplace. Do not differentiate on the basis of gender. Just this very basic pointer, if people follow, I think that this would be a step forward in making workplaces today safer for women.
Hello everyone, and I'm back with another episode on Men's Talk Town, and here I have one more eminent personality with me. So as you all know, that the theme or concept of this show is that here I try to interview men from various professions, background, to understand their perspective about women. The initiative is to create a safer working place for women, and rather it's not only about working place, but everywhere, be it marketplace, be it their residence, be it outside, be it another country, or any place on the planet Earth. So if we have a better communication, I think the problems can be resolved easily, and that is the point of interviewing men. So welcome Vinay to the show, and Vinay is a good friend. I know him for some time, a very accomplished person in his professional field. So I'll quickly introduce him. Mr. Vinay Pushpakaran is a global keynote speaker, educator, TEDx speaker, and the current president of Professional Speakers Association of India. He is also a visiting faculty on Customer Centricity at Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai. With more than 20 years of experience in marketing, brand strategy, and consumer behavior, Vinay partners with organizations to build a customer-obsessed workforce. He is founder and CEO of Miyagi Learning Solutions, a boutique corporate training enterprise that has been empowering students and professionals for more than 12 years. That's amazing. He's delivered impactful sessions for brands like Toshiba, Royal Enfield, SAP Labs, Bharat Petroleum, and many others. He's also a published short story writer, and his first co-authored book, Filter Coffee Chronicles, a collection of short stories from different walks of life, is available on all leading e-commerce platforms. Welcome Vinay, welcome to the show, and absolute pleasure to have you on this show today.
Hi Sonali, thank you very much for having me here. It's an absolute joy to be here and be part of the show.
For the viewers, those who want to get connected with him, he is available on various platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. And to begin with, we dive straight into our topic. So Vinay, the first question would be, who are the women in your life?
Let me put it this way, that women are an integral part, and let me talk about the from a professional point of view, that I like you mentioned that I lead an organization called Miyagi Learning Solutions, and we have a team of 12 employees, or we have a team of 12 people, and out of that 8 are women. And I would say that each one of them makes the company, makes the brand Miyagi what it is. It is not me who represents the brand Miyagi in the market. It is the effort and the work of each and every one of them that creates and presents the brand Miyagi to the market, to the world. I would say that I've been blessed to be able to work with some absolutely amazing men and women across my career when I was part of the corporate world, when I was working in an organization, and as when I started off on my own. I think I've had the amazing opportunity to work with some great people, both men and women, and now in my team we have more women than men, and absolutely it's a privilege to be a part of a team.
Right. So it wouldn't be incorrect to say that you're surrounded by many of them, like at your workplace. Okay. So my question would be, since you said that out of 12 employees, maximum number are women. So how, as an employer, you ensure their safety, security, or their requirements? How do you consider it? And their travel, because I'm considering it's an offline institute?
We are a remote company, so which means that all of us work from our homes, and we go to the client's premises, or we go to a neutral venue and we conduct our programs, engagements, and events, and then we return. So that's the way, and we meet up both in person as well as through online meetings. Virtual meetings happen, in-person meetings happen. That's the way we connect, and we do our brainstorming sessions. So yes, so that's how our company operates. And one thing we're very clear is that unless we feel safe working, unless we feel safe, comfortable, respected, and heard, I repeat, these are the four things, in my opinion, which make somebody, which enable somebody to work at their full throttle or full potential. Which means that they have to be heard, they have to be respected, they have to feel safe, and they have to feel valued in at the workplace. So when you take care of these four things, then I think that each one of us, be it you or me or anybody, when these four things are met, we automatically want to give our best. We automatically want to do our best, and each of our teammates, when they go and do a session, I know they all have their different strengths. They all have their unique ways of doing sessions. One person is an absolutely brilliant storyteller. The other person has uses unique activities. The other person designs some amazing activities for sessions, and designs games. So all of them have their different unique ways and unique styles of working, of facilitating sessions. So one thing that in our organization, we have a culture that we don't stifle the style of expression of any of us. We have an outcome in mind, that in this session, this is what I want my participants to take back, whether it is adults or it's children. This is what we want them to take back. This is the topic that we do, and these are the subtopics that we have to cover in that. Now, how we cover in that, what are the games, what are the activities, what is the experience that we are creating in that session, that is entirely left to the facilitator. Say, for example, if I'm doing a training on speaking. Now, the way I do a training on speaking will be very different from the way my colleague Akshata does, and that will be very different from the way Srinidhi does. And they bring their own individual flavor, they bring their own individual style to their teaching. And when something really works, they share that with the rest of the team, so that we can pick and choose what we like from that and use it in our own sessions. So we have a very good cross-pollination of ideas. But when it comes to the session, each one of us does our work in our own way. We write in our own way, we express in our own way, and within this team, I know 12 is a very small team, but within this team, each one of us has the complete freedom to express that topic in their own way. And I think that's the end of the day, that's what really makes us feel like doing. Otherwise, it becomes too monotonous, too mechanical. Doesn't create a happy workspace. And if it's not a happy workspace, how can it be a well-performing workplace?
That's true. So giving liberty, I think, or their own way of thinking, it helps. My question to you would be that you as an employer definitely have given that privilege, or rather that thought process you have followed, I would say. Not even privilege, but the thought process of accepting everyone's views. But when we see outside, why do you think that most of the time we see in companies or in institutions, people are not really concerned about the safety of their women employees, or they're not maybe they don't give that much weightage to it. As long as the work is being done, it's all good. After that, you are not my responsibility. So how does that work in your viewpoint?
I think it's a mindset which I don't concur with. It's a mindset that I don't resonate with at all, because as an employer, it is your responsibility to ensure the safety and well-being of your employees when they travel for your work, when they're working in your workspace. Of course, I'm not talking about how they handle their personal lives, but when I'm saying the way they feel when they're traveling for work, the way they feel when they're at the workplace, are they feeling safe? So, but say for example, one of the things that we do is that when any of our trainers travel to a different city for work, we personally ensure that their place of stay and their mode of travel is vetted and ensured the best possible solution in that particular city is for them. And we make sure that literally no stone is left unturned to make sure that they travel and they stay are absolutely safe. And even the timings, even the way that all that is managed to such an extent that safety and well-being should be the last concern of any of our trainers when they travel. We do not look at the cost, we don't look at any of those things, because all that comes later. The first and foremost is every single one of the 12 of us has to feel safe and feel good while working. For that, whatever is needed, whether it is travel, whether it is organizing a team meeting at a comfortable place, whatever it is, that is taken care to make sure that everybody comes in with a very positive state of mind. I think without that, what's the point of focusing on that? Okay, you achieve this target, you do this, you match this level of expectation. What's the point? I've worked with all kinds of people, and those specific people who ensured that I felt good and comfortable and taken care of while working. Those are the people for whom I gave it my all. So that's the kind of thing that I want to nurture within the team as well. That's the thought that I want to have in my team as well.
So when you say that these employers need mindset shift, or when we are talking here especially about the male employers or male heads of the institutions, so what some of them follow, some of them do not follow, or are not concerned. So what steps can be taken in your opinion to make the things better, or some kind of policy, some kind of ruling, or something can be brought in to ensure?
I believe, Sonali, that one size doesn't fit all, in the sense that in different industries, different organizations, the needs of the employees are different. No two sets of people might expect or want the same thing. So first of all, the first most preliminary step is that you got, as a employer, as a leader, you got to know what your team expects and wants. So you start off by listening to what they're saying and what they're not saying. You got to have your ear to the ground. Without having your ear to the ground, you don't know what your employee. You may think that, this is a company. So in a company, employees want A, B, C. No, sorry. In your company, your employees might want a G or an H or an I. You got to know what your employees want. So first you listen. And then after that, you design policies and you create policies and you create processes which make sure that those concerns in A, B, and C are addressed. But it starts off with first knowing what your team wants. I see so many people that, there is no connect with their team, there is no connect with their employees. They don't even know what they expect or want. Unless you know what the other person wants or expects, how can you address that? How can you deliver that? You cannot. So first, listen. And then strategize, and then act, and then after that, make sure that it is maintained. So that's the way to make sure that your employees are taken care of. Because when your employees are taken care of, your customers are taken care of. There is no shortcut to that.
Right. It's all connected. So I think that's a very beautiful point that you brought out, that keeping your ears to the ground and knowing about your employees and not floating in the air that everything is hunky-dory. However, my question would be, do you think from safety angle there can be certain blanket rules which can be passed irrespective of what kind of workplace you are at or what is your product or service?
Absolutely. From a basic safety point of view, 100%, there has to be a policy framework. There have to be regulations put in place to ensure that nobody's rights are trampled upon or no boundaries are violated, that people feel safe when they're in the workspace. Simple example could be that sexually offensive comments, statements, even misogynistic statements, comments, there has to be an absolute intolerance to that. It should not be something that's laughed and overlooked. It has to be taken cognizance of, and there has to be an absolute intolerance to it, or the organization has to send the message across that this is not tolerated here. You might have done that earlier and people may not have responded, people may not have had a problem, but this is not clear. This is just one of the many things. I'm just saying there are lots to do in terms of ensuring diversity, equity, and inclusion. But I mean, this is just one example that because I've had people sharing during sessions that that somebody just cracks a comment. Now that comment, everybody laughs at it as a joke, but I don't like it. I don't enjoy it, and those kind of suggestive comments in the workplace do not augur well for me. So now, but then when in a group of 8 to 10 people, 7 or 8 of them laugh at it, you're the only person who's not laughing at it. People say, come on, get a sense of humor. No, do not get a sense of humor. The person who's saying is the one who has to take ownership of that. So that kind of language, that kind of behavior, not language, I'd say language is just one part of behavior, but that kind of behavior has to be absolutely nipped in the bud. The message has to go out very strong and absolutely clear that this will not be tolerated in this organization. This is just one of those steps that can, there are more, but this is a very critical and important step according to me, that if this is taken care of, a lot of people will feel comfortable within the workplace across genders.
Right. I think what you said is very correct. However, again, there is a very thin line between that, as you mentioned, a very, very thin line of crossing it and not crossing it, whether it's a humor or whether it's a sarcastic comment. So that definitely needs to be looked into. And as you very correctly said, that the organization should also not promote this. But many times again this happens that females, out of situation or fear of something, they do not even complain or voice their opinion. So is there a way to tackle it? Because we cannot force also anyone to say something, or what I'm trying to say here is that at times it is their need because of the background to work, and they might not find that suitable job again, so they just continue and they keep taking these kind of comments, and they say, okay, fine, if I complain, these guys might go against me, or they may remove me, or they may find that me as a burden. So in such situations, if they are not complaining and if the leader is finding that something is amiss, what do you think can be done?
In fact, in that question itself, you've answered it, Sonali. You mentioned, right, that because of certain situations that they get intimidated, they get scared, that what will happen if I say it. As a leader, you got to remove those situations. Simple as that. You got to chop those situations away. You got to remove those situations and say that, and make them feel that no sky will fall on them if they talk about it or if they make a case for it. Now, if something like that happens, which is not observed by people, but the person who's receiving it is the one who's knowing it, we have to make that person feel absolutely safe that what you're saying, there will be action taken. When do people not talk about it? One, when they know that bol ke bhi koi fayda nahi hai, there is no action that's going to happen. That's number one. Number two, when people feel that if I say it, the repercussions will be on me, I will be seen as a liability for the company. Both of these things can be absolutely chopped off if a leader of an organization decides to do that. Both are absolutely correctable issues, but unfortunately people don't choose to correct that. But both are correctable issues and they need to be corrected. Action needs to be taken, because at the end of the day, if that person is not having the courage or to speak it out, remove those things which take away the courage from that person. You remove those things, the people will have courage, people will speak up. And today a lot more people are speaking up about it than they were 10 years back. Why? What's changed? Because they feel more empowered to do that. Still, we have a long way to go for us to be able to say that yes, things have changed. But it starts off with one small step. And I feel that leaders of any workforce or any organization that has both men and women working there, definitely they have an opportunity on their hands to make sure of this. So remove what causes fear in people to talk about it. Let there be conversations around it, and take action. Once you know that a line has been crossed, take action. Do not cover it up. Do not overlook it. Take action. Make sure that the message is sent across that this is not done. This will not be tolerated. Why do people cross boundaries? People cross boundaries because they feel that
Nothing.
It's okay. Nothing will happen. Remove that misconception that nothing will happen. Make things happen. As a leader, you can make things happen. Yes, there will be a cost to pay. Sometimes you might lose people who are maybe professionally brilliant. Sometimes you may have to, cross swords with someone who's maybe an expert in their field. All that might happen. But once you've chosen to take the right path, then I feel that you would be okay to pay that price. So that's what I think about it.
So you know that reminds me of something like, as you said, take action. In our defense, we have this terminology called as making a sample out of a person. So whenever in our group someone makes a mistake, so he or she is to get punished in front of everyone, and everyone would know that this is the kind of punishment you're going to get if you don't follow those rules, and those are very much required if you have to get people disciplined. That's the need of the organization. It's nothing something it's definitely doesn't come under harassment or incorrect practices, because it's part of our training. However, when that is shown to others, that when you behave incorrectly or you are out of discipline, this is what happens to you, and this might also happen to you. So when you have that fear and also the camaraderie in your group, that if I make a mistake, my entire group is going to get punished. So it forms, that bonding also, and you try to make lesser mistakes. So it's not,
Absolutely.
I mean, we are humans, we keep doing those things, but at least the percentage goes down and you have that consequence in mind that this might happen. So yes,
Definitely.
a very great point I think you have put across. So just one more, a question that comes to my mind is, in your 20 years of professional service, have you had, any such incidents that you can recall of where you as a junior might have faced an issue with a female boss, or vice versa, or any female employee, being uncomfortable in the circumstances?
No, I've in my corporate career, no, I've not had a female reporting manager so far. So, but yes, I've had in my team, I've had lots of women working. And there have been in an organization where I was consulting at one point of time, and there have been a situation where somebody said that that person makes me feel uncomfortable. My immediate response to at that time was exactly the same as today: go and say it. Because every time you choose not to do anything about it, you are basically telling the other person that please carry on, I'm not going to do anything about it, it's going to continue. So until you express displeasure or oppose something that makes you uncomfortable, it just continues. In a lot of cases, it continues for a very long time, and that is wrong. That is very, very wrong in every sense of the word. Right. So unfortunately, she chose not to do, because she felt it would affect her career, like you very rightly said. And then after some time, I think the person who was making her feel uncomfortable left the organization, and things turned towards the better. But again, that's not the solution.
Yes, that's not the solution.
Exactly, that's not the solution. That's depending on luck. And luck, as I always believe, is never a great strategy. It's always a good bonus, never a great strategy.
And then it's like just running away. I agree. So coming towards the last part of the conversation, what I want to ask you is that what are the pointers, maybe it could be one point or many, few of them, which you would like to address men at workplace they can follow to create a safer space for women, or to make them feel comfortable, even if you are not taking responsibility of them, but as a colleague, as a boss, as an employer, what are the pointers you would suggest?
I just want to say one single pointer here, that I don't think that women expect men to hold the door open for them, nor that set up a chair for them and lay the red carpet for them. No, women expect men to just treat them as equal compatriots, people who are on the same floor, and treat them with the same respect, kindness, and sensitivity that you would treat. There's a different equation that that another man and me, and that's a woman. No, that change in perception needs to be removed. Treat people with the same respect, kindness, and sensitivity, irrespective of the gender and irrespective of any of the other those mental parameters that we use to judge people or evaluate people. So remove that judgment from the head and treat people. Now, how do you treat people? Start off with very basic communication. That just communicate with people in a way that makes them feel safe, comfortable, and that make sure that gender does not play a part in the way you treat them at a professional level. Gender should not play a part in that. All other things aside, gender should never, they are a colleague, they are a teammate, they are a partner in a project, whatever role they are. Gender should not figure in that equation at all. Capabilities, skill sets, behavior, attitude, look at that. Do not differentiate on the basis of gender. Just this very basic pointer, if people follow, I think that this would be a step forward in making workplaces today safer for women.
Yes, you said it very correctly, that looking at more from the human point of view rather than discriminating all the time or thinking from that angle. So that was really wonderful, Vinay, and thanks a lot for all the value additions that you've done. So that's all, viewers, for today, and I thank once again Vinay for being part of this show and accepting the invitation and being on the show and sharing his views. So do subscribe to the channel, do watch the interviews, and please share your feedbacks, because that will help me to make this show more better and get more insights to all of you. Thank you so much, and thanks Vinay once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonali. It's a pleasure having this conversation with you. Thank you for having me on the show, and may this show go places. All the best.
Thank you so much.